Some of the most common comments and questions I get here on my reselling content YouTube channel are things like people saying, you are the reason that prices have gone up in thrift stores. Or people say, don't you think that putting all of this information online, these thrift stores are going to watch your videos and then demand higher prices? Things of that nature. I would like to hear in the comment section today during this live, and especially you guys catching the replay, I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on if you think YouTube resellers are affecting thrift store operations. Now, I believe that we totally are. First, in the fact that, yes, of course, when these thrift stores see these videos, they're going to notice items that sell particularly well in any circumstance in their brick and mortar stores, online, through different venues, and they're going to increase the prices on those items particularly. And of course, when we are making videos and there's a lot of excitement around reselling, more and more people go to thrift stores with the intent to buy items for as cheap as possible and sell them for a profit. So just by natural supply and demand, of course, the prices are going to go up in thrift stores when more people are shopping at thrift stores, specifically to resell. Now, there are a ton of items in thrift stores that you can't just mark the price up in your local area because they will not sell. The reason why we're able to sell these items is because we are servicing a need for people who are looking for a very specific item. For example, a remote control. Today I picked up an Optimus remote control to a kind of higher tech vinyl record player. The remote, there are 0 listed. Mine will now be the only one listed, and there's only one sold for $25 shipped. You can go to a thrift store every single day at open for years and possibly never find that remote. But okay, sorry guys, we lost connection there for a second, but hopefully you guys can hear me. We'll go ahead and turn this to do not disturb. Okay, so yeah, hopefully we didn't lose too many of you guys. Can you guys hear me again? You guys are still commenting that I'm dead. Please, and if you guys can see and hear me in the comments, please let me know. Okay, awesome. So again, we're talking about, do resellers truly affect thrift store prices? I do, but I don't think it's the huge like negative way that people always associate it with. Everyone's like, oh, thrift stores are more expensive because you're looking up items and saying that you can sell them for a ton of money online. There are just items that it significantly depends on the local market. Oh, I was going to my remote control. So if you are looking for a remote control and it is valued at $50 online, you can't just go to a thrift store or yard sales and find it today. You just can't. You literally cannot. Like, there's a 0.001% chance that you will, but you would have to go every single day, day after day, over and over and over and over and over again to find that specific remote that you are looking for. And it's not going to be a worthwhile and productive venture for you. However, you can just look it up on eBay and see, oh, it's $40. Man, that sucks, but it's my only option, so I'm going to buy it for $40. Thrift stores cannot sell that remote control for $40 because that person, the likelihood of that person being in Hilliard, Ohio, going to a Goodwill who needs that remote control is close to 0. However, you can sell that remote control to a reseller for a decent margin below $40. I picked it up for $3 today. You will not sell it for 40 because I don't need it. I'm just going to buy it, list it online, and ship it to someone who is actually looking for that specific remote control. Now, when it comes to t-shirts that everyone needs t-shirts. It doesn't matter what area of the United States you're in. T-shirts will always be items that can go for that need to be purchased and worn on a daily basis. So if you have a cool Batman vintage t-shirt and it is selling for $80 online, if you're willing to hold on to it for a few days or weeks or even months, you'll be able to sell it for about $40 at a thrift store on rare occasions. When it comes to like Jordans and Nikes and things like that that people are actually consistently looking for, video games, you can increase the prices on those specific items. But again, if they are very specific items, like a speaker that you need the exact speaker that has the wiring harness, things like that, you're not going to be able to get any money for them in a thrift store. You have to sell them at reseller prices. Honestly, resellers keep thrift stores in business. Resellers keep Whatnot in business. Resellers keep my platform, First Class Treasures, in business. We would love to sell to collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for items, but those people are just going to eBay and Etsy and Mercari and buying those items because they can find exactly what they're looking for, or they can browse and see things that they're looking for. Anyway, resellers definitely affect thrift store operations, but there's this thing called a bell curve. So right now I'm experiencing this in my local area. I buy a lot of sunglasses. I buy enough sunglasses that thrift stores can notice an increase in sunglass sales. So when I first moved here, about August, September, October, November, December, January, February, about half a year ago, 6 months ago. Wow, I've been here 6 months already. It's nuts. When I moved here 6 months ago, the savers closest to me sold all of their eyeglasses for $1.99. Now most of them are $3.99. And Oakley and Ray-Bans and things like that, they even price at $6.99, which are still decent prices. I'll buy some Oakleys at $6 to flip them for $45 for sure. But when I first got there, it was only $1.99, and then they continued to up the price and up the price. I used to buy 2 to 10 pairs every single day. Now I am buying 0 to 2 pairs each day. And if I continue to hold out on buying these sunglasses, unless there are other resellers looking for these sunglasses, then they will hit that bell curve and they'll realize, okay, these just aren't selling at $3.99, but they do continue to sell at $2.99. So we are going to increase it from $1.99 to $2.99 and actually keep moving our items. But if we put them at $3.99, they sit on the shelf and we just end up throwing them away or donating them to another thrift store. So we drive prices up, but just because something sells for $80 on eBay, thrift stores will never be able to sell those items for $80 in their thrift store because of those certain things that I talked about. But let me know in the comments if you guys agree, if you guys think that we are affecting prices significantly or slightly. You also have to realize that even though the majority of these thrift stores are getting their items for free, they are still heavily impacted by inflation. Their leases go up. Their electricity goes up, their wages go up, the amount of people that they need to take care of all of these operations go up. And yeah, it's an expensive venture still. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. And also, if you guys have any questions about reselling, any questions about eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Amazon, District, First Class Treasures, if you guys have any questions about pricing, about sourcing, about how to find items that people are looking for, if you guys have any questions about anything reselling related, anything business or mindset, finance, taxes, if you guys have any questions about anything reselling or really anything at all, I'd love to answer your questions. There's 50 of you guys in here and close to 0 questions. So I really hope that you guys start typing away in the next 30 seconds. So that way we have some questions that we can go over. And please continue to ask questions throughout this live. And I'd love to be able to talk to you guys for a while. So let's see how everyone's doing. Appreciate everyone coming out. I think thrift stores check prices on Marketplace and then match them. Yeah, but when they match them, they do not sell them. So, but eventually those prices either come down or they throw away those items, unfortunately. But most thrift stores eventually mark them down. Let's see. Hilton says, hey, Jake, I think you are affecting thrift stores. I feel like in Australia, at least, they are watching videos. They also are selling online themselves. So they're taking the cream of the crop. Yep. So definitely when you find those items, but shopgoodwill.com is actually closing. Yeah, they that wasn't a super profitable venture for them. They kind of messed that all up, which is hard to believe that they could mess that up, but they somehow did. But yeah, this will always be. This is just simple supply and demand. So if I buy a truck, if I'm willing to buy a truck for 15,000, but the guy next to me is willing to buy it for 17,000, they'll sell it for 17,000. If someone next to him is willing to buy it for 19,000, they'll sell it for 19,000. If they try to sell for 21,000 and no one is interested, they'll go back down to 19. And then if interest wanes from there, they'll go back down to 16,000, 15,000 until they find what people are actually willing to give for their item. So it is still the consumer who chooses the prices at all of these thrift stores, Walmart, Ford and GM, Apple. If we stop buying, then they lower their prices. But the more we buy, the more that they can continue to inflate these numbers. Thrift stores should be one tool in your toolbox, not the only source for inventory. There's so many ways to get quality items. 100% true. If you only are going to thrift stores, you can still make a profitable business. I still make a full-time living on thrifted items alone, but I also make additional incomes, really good money on flea market and garage sales from online sourcing on my platform. First Class Treasures is an incredible way to actually source right now. I still am buying hundreds of items per week and per month on eBay in lots to resell back on eBay as individual items. There's just so many ways to get product. Hey Jake, love the channel. Thank you for all your great information. I've learned lots from you. What do you do at yard sales for looking things up, or do you go off gut? I look things up. I still look everything up that I buy. So if I see an item that I think is profitable, I look it up. And if I and like people like for all people know you're on Snapchat. Like a lot of people think that people care about who you are and what you're doing, but the world is an amazing, beautiful place, but it's also on the colder side, and people don't care. Like, why would someone look at? That's also like extremely rude and invasion of privacy to look at someone's phone screen. Some people do, it's fine. But like, when was the last time that you looked at a stranger's cell phone? Like, when was the last time that you were on a subway or at a thrift store or in a mall and you were walking past someone or even standing by someone in line and actually looked at the screen of their cell phone at what they were consuming? I'll bet you have not done that in a very long time. Maybe by accident, every once in a while, you'll catch a glimpse of what someone's looking at on their phone. But people don't actually care about what you're doing. So just look things up. I just look them up. Good morning, sir. How are things going? They're going great. Thanks for asking. Could you point out the difference between a lot and a bundle and how you would list both of them? Yeah, so like a bundle of video games, I'm going to list three $15 video games for $30 plus shipping. So I take three video games that have a pretty decent sales price, but a slower sell-through rate. But if I put them together in a bundle, they will sell faster for a little bit less money. A lot, you are taking 15 video games that maybe sell between $6 and $15 with not so great sell-through rate. You're adding in one or two higher value, faster selling video games, and you're selling all of those video games for $4 or less. So if you have 15 of them, you are not going to make a listing for $150 for that lot. You are probably going to price it at around $40 for the lot. So that way, a reseller still has like a volume reseller will still be interested in that because they can make, $1 to $3 per video game, and they're perfectly fine with that. They want to feed their volume store. A mom or dad who is looking to buy a bundle of games for their kids for Christmas or Easter is willing to buy those games at $4 or $5 a piece in that bundle. Or a video game collector or a gamer who's expanding their collection or their arsenal of games is willing to pick up all of them at $4 or $5. So that's the difference between a lot and a bundle. So if I had a ton of video games, if I had 50 video games, I would sort through and I would find the 5 or 6 that sell for $20 plus shipping individually, and I would list those individually. Then I would take 3 of them that all sell between like $10 and $15, and I would bundle those ones. And then everything that sells for $15 or less, or just have a very slow sell-through rate, you lot those together for someone who is okay with a slower sell-through rate, or for someone who's looking to buy for someone else or collecting. I'll get the rest of the listings up throughout the week. That's an interesting opening statement. Not sure what you mean there. Clothing is one thing I've said thrift stores should not be allowed to price up. Every article of clothing should be $1, and they would all sell tens of thousands of dollars worth per day. I totally disagree with you, Anthony. I believe that businesses should do whatever they see fit. It's their business, not ours. But yeah, no, like thrift stores are not designed for poor people. They're not designed for like benefiting the community. That is sometimes in effect. But yeah, no, they're a business. So if they can sell shirts for $8.99 consistently, then they should do that. It would not be a smart venture to make less money on purpose. Even if so, like volume, that's just a different game. But like even volume, if you could sell all of your products for $4 instead of $2, and you can still get 10,000 items a day, why not make $40,000 instead of 20,000? You know what I mean? But yeah, I understand your sentiment, Anthony, but if you can sell something for $5, why would you sell it for more? Hi, Jake. I'm getting ready to open an online card shop on First Class Treasures. Do you have any suggestions for maximizing profits due to all the selling and processing fees eating into profit? Yeah, so similar on eBay, but the fees are going to be less. On District, what I would definitely recommend doing is posting your items to District and then also listing them on Dibdit cards, as well as other trading cards, whether it's basketball and football or Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, and everything outside of those bounds and in between. There's a ton of marketplaces on District specifically. So what I would do is I would definitely, what's also really cool is you can use your own shipping. So you don't have to send all of your cards out for $4 in Ground Advantage. What I would do is if I was doing only cards, that's one of the rare categories where I would do free shipping or just like $1 per card shipping, because you can ship them in envelopes with a stamp for 48 cents or less. But I would definitely. So I've talked to you before, and you've said that you're not a reseller. You're just like a hobbyist who really loves this community. So I would watch my videos on how to sell on eBay, and then just apply all of that information onto First Class Treasures and Dibdit and that network as well. Good stuff. I appreciate you your willingness to sell on my platform. It's awesome. At least in my area, stuff at thrift stores is priced high that it's just not possible to buy from them to resell and make a profit reselling. It's also I just don't believe in that statement, because it really depends on how much you're trying to make per item. Like, we are very spoiled in reselling. Like most profit margins for major corporations are under, like Walmart, their profit margin is under 2%. For every $100 in revenue they make, they profit $2. $2. Like $2. And obviously they have huge operations and they make money from real estate and other ventures and things like that, which is, what I do on this as well, is I can, in a vacuum, I could take less dollar per item because I can make money off of this current video that you're watching. I now have a reselling platform that generates revenue, so I can take lower money because of, in this example, Walmart has their real estate. I also have real estate in this YouTube channel and in my platform. But yeah, in reselling, like, those major corporations are making 2 to 4% profit. A lot of companies are ecstatic about a 20% margin. So if you sell $100 worth of items, you make $20. You don't have to make $25 per item. You don't have to quintuple your money. If you buy 1,000 items for $4 each at $4,000, and you sell all of those items for $6,000, the average reseller is not willing to do that, but you just made $2,000. So like, there's a lot of things that go into it. I think that you just watch these videos and expect to find something for $4 that sells for 25. But if you find something for $12 that sells for 25, you're still making $6. That's a 50% ROI. If you put $6 in the stock market, you will make the same amount of profit. If you put $12 in the stock market, you'll make the same amount of profit in about 3.5 years. You just made it same day or same week or same month or a 90-day period. So just got to kind of shift your focus a little bit. Today, like I bought some $12 shoes that sell for $40. And then I saw a $25 pair of shoes that sell for $50. I could have grabbed those $25 pairs of shoes because they were Doc Martens. They're going to sell extremely fast. And I could have sold them for $50 plus shipping and made $12 or $14. That's a very profitable venture. Most billionaire businessmen would love to turn 25 into 50 plus shipping. They would absolutely love that. And then if they sell 100,000, then they just made $1.2 million. So, nope, goodwillfinds.com closed. Yeah, their shop Goodwill is closing down. Hey, thank you very much, Leo. I appreciate that. But yeah, guys, we have a few questions, but we're running out of them. If you guys have any questions about reselling, about eBay, Poshmark, Amazon, Mercari, if you guys have any questions about live selling, if you have questions about business mindset or finances or taxes, if you guys have any questions about anything, please put them in the comments below. I'd love to hang out with you guys for another hour or so. But there's not as many questions as I'm used to. So, but I appreciate all of you guys being here. Haha, Jake, you like to talk to us as long as Archie doesn't call. Yeah, if Archie calls, it's over. Just kidding. Jake, the real question is, are you financially better off? Are you making good money that you are saving lots of money? Personally, yeah, we're doing great. Personally, finances are all in order, and I'm really enjoying life. It's awesome. Plus, I just got my tax information back. It was a good year of taxes. Good year of taxes. The tax system is amazing, by the way. Write-offs, credits, all of that stuff can definitely, they work in the entrepreneur's favor. So you guys should definitely be learning as much as you can about that, and definitely hiring CPAs who are trained in that, because yeah, I saved a lot of money on my taxes this year that I'm going to be able to use to feed my family and reinvest in my business and create jobs and opportunities for other people, which is what is the tax code is supposed to be written for. I've gotten a little bit away from that, in my opinion, unfortunately. But do you get shipping insurance for pricier items that sell on eBay when you send them? I actually don't, because, so first of all, Ground Advantage will cover up to $100, so you're good there. And then if items are returned in damaged condition, you can withhold 50% of that return, and then eBay will take care of the rest. So, but yeah, if you're sending something for $700 that you got at a yard sale for $30, yeah, definitely add some insurance on top of that so you can get your full money back from the from USPS and things like that. But if USPS messes up a package, they're actually pretty good at taking care of business and refunding you. I don't know the exact date, but they have announced that Shop Goodwill will be closing. There are no thrift stores in Mexico anyway. Yeah, unfortunately. There's Tianguis, though. Good old Tianguis. WSNC Collectibles. Thanks for being here, man. If it's Wes. Also, you know, could be Sandra, Zelda. Appreciate you guys. WSC is the, I think, currently ranked 3rd highest seller on First Class Treasures. Let's see. Let's hop into District and go to First Class Treasures. It looks like on the leaderboard, WSC has moved to 2nd place. Guys, I am only 8th place in my own platform. I suck. I'm having a live show after this, actually, for any of you that wants to join us. But I've been going on some vacations and been doing some other stuff. So right now, Random Relics has sold the most. followed by WSC, followed by Street Dreams, followed by Violet, Antique Plus One. Yeah, it looks like we had some static sales because a few of these sellers aren't live sellers. So, but yeah, looks like things are going swimmingly. Let's go ahead and see some more of these questions. But yeah, follow WSNC on District. And I'm not sure if you've started your YouTube channel yet, but he and Random Relics also started a podcast called The Real Resellers Podcast, something like that. REAL, Real. And it's a good podcast. I think they've launched 2 episodes. I listened to the most recent one, and then I'll be listening to the first one probably later tonight. Is there anything that you won't thrift to sell? Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to like sell explicit like hentai and like things like that. So I shy away from those. I was at the bins and I actually had the opportunity to get some like vintage magazines like that were like full nudity, and they were worth like $150 for the little bundle. We've gotten them for like 27 cents, but I passed on them. Doesn't mean you have to though. It's just my business and morals, and all good to go. What businesses do you own? So I have a S corporation called J-Raid Media, which is over all of my different businesses. But I have my content creation, so YouTube and TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of the revenue that comes from that you can consider a company. I also have my reselling business, which includes eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and First Class Treasures, as well as Bonanza and Amazon. I do close to nothing on Amazon nowadays though. And then I also have my reselling platform, similar to eBay and whatnot, called First Class Treasures, which generates income. We also have a real estate and stock portfolio that is considered a business, even though it's very passive, but still is a business. So I guess I have 4 right now. Yep. Those are the 4. And then I've had other businesses as well that I have sold off or have failed completely. And those failed completely ones are really fun. They really are. Happy Tuesday, Jake. Appreciate it, Rad Picker. Rad Picker also started a YouTube channel. Scott, put some explanation points in the chat if you're here and if you're listening, because I got some advice for you. So just let me know if you're here, and we'll talk about your YouTube channel a little bit. But yeah, everyone should go ahead and check out the Rad Picker. Anthony, if you're still here, if you'll also put, go find the Rad Picker's YouTube channel and put a link in the description, that'd be great. From a tax perspective, do you think there's pros and cons to charging for shipping versus free shipping? Mercari adds that fee into the 1099K total. So could it be a write-off if I pay and do free shipping? So it's all the same. Sweet, I see the Rad's in here. Okay, Scott. So when it comes to like write-offs, you're just writing off from your baseline. So if you sell something for $40 plus $15 in shipping, that's $65 that went into your business bank account. And then you write off the cost of goods and the shipping and the labor and everything that went into selling that product. If you sell it for $65 shipped, $65 free shipping, you still have $65 going to your bank account, obviously minus fees or whatever, but just for the example, and you still just write off the same stuff. So I would recommend having shipping because it makes it easier to, yeah, I mean, no, it doesn't matter because you can literally do either. It all comes across as the same. You just minus your deductions and write-offs from that money that you generated. From all of your revenue, you minus out your expenses. Whether it's free shipping or not, you still have a shipping charge and you write off that shipping charge. You skipped the first part of my opening statement. I'm selling lots of 50 remotes at $40. I have about 800 or more. Oh, okay. I think that message just never came through. But yeah, so I'm selling lots of 50 remotes at $40. I have about 800 or more. So yeah, if you have 800, I would take the time to find the 1 to 50 of them that sell for $15 plus shipping or more, and list those individually. Put 3 or 4 of them to the side and add 1 or 2 really good ones to those lots. So like when I'm scrolling through, I've probably seen a lot of your lots on eBay. And if it has like a Harmony remote that works in it, or if it has a Bose remote, then I'll look at that one, and then I'll see if I can find 9 or 10 more 15 or 12 or $10 remotes. And if I can, then I'll buy it at 40 bucks. So yeah, you just gotta make that $40 turn into at least $160 for someone if you want like really fast sales. But if it can turn into $100 for someone, you will get slower sales, but you will still get them. But if people think that they can 4x their money revenue wise, not including like fees and stuff, then it's usually a quick buy, and for me at least. Sodak Surplus is your eBay store. I'll also take a look at that for sure. See if there's anything that I like. Smash that thumbs up, everyone, and support J Ride's channel. Thanks for the info, Jake. Hey, appreciate it. The real life perspective. Also, if you guys are interested in 80s stuff and pop culture, video games, the real life perspective has a great YouTube channel about them right here on screen. The real life perspective show. I think you have like what, 18,000 subscribers, something like that. So very sizable channel as well. Are you still using Deal Soldier on the regular? I am. I've been going on a lot of vacations and been doing a lot of other different stuff. But yeah, when I'm working, I'm using Deal Soldier pretty regularly. That's great. I'm going to be posting more videos about that in the future too, as I get more into the swing of things. What's a good strategy for garage and estate sale sourcings? I arrive early, but other resellers have already purchased all the profitable items. They haven't, so they've purchased all of what they think is profitable, and even the best reseller doesn't know everything about every category. So, like for example, I went to an estate sale, and shout out to the Commonwealth Picker. He just sold one of these for $100. I just found this at an estate sale for 50 cents, and I was one of the last resellers in the door. I got there late, and I found. So you just have to find the profitable items that we left behind. I leave a ton of money behind in glass and clothing because I hate those 2 categories, but I know there's a lot of money in them, but I just leave that stuff behind. But there's another reseller there that specializes in glass, and they gobble up the majority of it. This last, my wife's mocking me. This last estate sale that I went to, I found 4 $150 remote controls. And I was not the first reseller there whatsoever.
And you didn't look them up.
And I didn't even look them up because they were Tempur-Pedic bed remote controls, and I knew that they would sell for good money. Really, and they have like a 600% sell-through rate. So the best strategy for sourcing at these estate sales, get there as early as you can. And then just really find what you are good at finding and keep expanding your knowledge from there. I also found a ton of one under-sourced category for sure is office stuff. So at this estate sale that I'm talking about, it was a really good estate sale. I got over $1,500 worth of stuff for $30. But one of the categories that I found were gold-filled cross pens. It was 120 10K. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it. 10K gold-filled pens. No one. Also, another pro tip: go into the offices that have desks and the bathrooms that have drawers and open the drawers. Unless they have like tape and you can clearly see that the estate sale is like making it so you can't open them, be respectful of their wishes. But a lot of times, like these estate sale companies, they don't open the drawers and put everything on the table because there's not enough room. I find hundreds of dollars in cameras and pens and Sony Walkmans in desk drawers. So hopefully there was a few golden nuggets in there for you. Sid, I'll come right back to this question. Scott, all of the videos that you're making right now, you have your phone like this. Do it like this. You see how right now this video is taking up the whole space? That's because I have my phone in landscape. If you're gonna make shorts, like I'm talking about when you're driving in your truck, instead of having your phone like this, just have it like this. I've watched both of your long form videos. They're great videos, but because they're horizontal, people won't like the black space on either side of it, so they click away. Even if the information is awesome, they'll just click away. So make sure that you just flip your phone and record like this. Sid says, where do you see the future of your business? Tech and Sports was reselling on eBay, but to make it more of a passive income, he transitioned to wholesaling. Do you know how you see your business in the future? I don't know. That's the thing about business is you shouldn't be afraid to progress into things. I don't think I'll ever become a wholesaler, but I could just start. I don't know. I could stick with this for a very long time. I definitely see myself like pumping first class treasures and making that a reputable website and business and focusing on that. My wife and I have contemplated getting into house flipping as well. So instead of flipping items for $4 into 50, we'll flip houses for 400,000 into 600,000. That sounds pretty dope. But I don't know. I may just turn into a financial YouTube channel. That might be something that I transition into as well. I don't know. I was gonna make that channel earlier this year, but my testosterone just tanked, and so I haven't had the motivation or drive or will to do that. But that'll be upcoming soon as well. But like Stephen Graham, he makes $20,000 to $100,000 per video. I make $300 to $6,000 per video. So a lot of money. Car insurance sales? No. No, I'm done. I'm done like work. I'm done like being an employee. I mean, I'm okay to be an employee. Like I'm a pretty dang good employee, I'd say. But I just really like the ones that have been following me for a long time. You guys know that my priority is my family, and so I would much rather make $60,000 per year and own my own schedule than make $400,000 per year and tell my son I can't go to his basketball game. No chance. I would, yeah, yeah. I would rather raise my kids poor and be at every single basketball game that they have than to give them everything except for myself because I'm at work. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, good stuff. I've been reselling on eBay for over 2 years. Considering selling live on either Whatnot or District, what mental changes did you have to make while sourcing to switch up picking up cheaper items? So you just got to look for opportunities, right? So I have learned a ton from live selling that has helped my eBay business as well. Like I am now selling a ton of cars. For example, I didn't know that all of these monster trucks from Hot Wheels were so profitable until I started watching WSC and CW Collectibles selling them live on Whatnot. I mean, on Did and First Class Treasures. Now I know to look for these because I'll buy them on First Class Treasures from them anywhere from $2 to $6, and then sell them on eBay for 20 to 25. Now I have all of these that I'm going to be able to sell for $20 to $25 each. Run a few of them on First Class Treasures, but that's not really what you asked. When I'm out sourcing, I'm kind of looking for eBay items as well as First Class Treasures items. And it's not a value, it's not like a sales price thing. It's just, will this do well live? Even if it sells for pretty good money static, I'm just going to run it live because I know it'll do well. And you just learn from your audience what those items are. So there's like some items, like we'll take coins, for example. I don't think I'm ever going to run an $800 coin on First Class Treasures. Maybe I will. But an $800 coin that has that much value will sell instantly on eBay, like in under a month. That's what I consider instant, right? If you have an $800 coin and you list it for $779, it'll sell within a week on eBay. You can sell it that same day on First Class Treasures, but it might sell for $18, which would just be horrendous, right? So, but you can also, so like Random Relics has been listing a lot of really good items. He'll say, okay, this sells for about $120 on eBay. If it doesn't sell here, I'm just going to list it there. But I want to give you guys an opportunity to purchase it at $70 or $85. So there's just enough room for resellers to buy that if it's really fast sell through rate and make a good $15 to $35. Or if they're really interested in said item, then they get it at 30% off of eBay. So there's a lot of different strategies, but yeah, when I'm outsourcing, I'm looking for cool stuff for first class treasures and then high sell-through rate stuff for eBay. I hit a year of reselling in March thanks to you, and am dreaming of the future of freedom. That's awesome, Sid. You're doing great. Keep it up. Wow, so glad to catch you live. Hope you're feeling better. Hayden, thanks. Appreciate that. I'm feeling a lot better, especially today. I'm feeling really good. It's awesome. I'm motivated and having a good time. Few questions. First, drafting versus scheduling listings on eBay. Does it really matter which one we do? No. Whatever is better for your business. Whatever better for your personality and mindset. I enjoy waking up every day and having that 30 minutes of computer work where I accept offers, look at emails, and then do my listings. But if you like to have it just more automated, then do that. So it's just your own personal preferences. But from an algorithmic standpoint, doesn't matter. I know you do drafts, but am I doing harm by scheduling listings out a week or two in advance? No. Yeah, if that's your style, Hayden, keep doing it. For sure. Hey, Reality Smacks in the house. Appreciate it. I think I see you over on Dibdit. Haven't seen you too much in First Class Treasures, but I think you're a Dibdit guy or gal. I could be wrong. Thanks for all the info. Where do you see the reselling market going over the next few years with regards to new selling platforms emerging, the general market growing for buyers, sellers, and sourcing? I see it just following the same track as it has for decades. Just continually, girl, thanks. Continually growing in a positive direction on gross domestic product, how much people are actually buying. I foresee more sellers listing more items. And I definitely see live selling not taken away from static selling, but I can see the average person selling on eBay instead of, selling on like Whatnot or hopefully First Class Treasures, depending on where we want to take that, right? But instead of doing yard sales, so I have a calling in my church, which allows me to work with youth so I every Sunday and Wednesday, I hang out with and teach 14-year-old young men. And a few of them sell on Depop and Whatnot at 14 years old. And they'll just like walk into their closet, and instead of having a yard sale or donating their clothes, they'll just sell all of their clothes to their friends and run it and be like, hey, sweet, got this Carhartt jacket. And they'll sell for, $80. It's pretty cool. I can foresee the average American, instead of running like traditional yard sales or even putting things up on Facebook, they'll just hop on a live selling platform for a second and sell off a few of their items. They want to go to a concert and they need $150. So they grab $300 worth of items from their house and they just sell it on Whatnot. I foresee that for sure. But yeah, as far as reselling goes, I don't see really too many major monumental changes. It's just going to continue to roll into a bigger snowball. Is there a way to ship heavy items that eBay doesn't offer shipping on? Yeah, there's a ton of different ways. You can just drive it to the person, or you can have UShip. It's uship.com. If you have like a huge, what's considered freight, there's guys and gals that are kind of like truck drivers with just a big old bed truck and trailer, and they'll just start in Seattle and they'll pick up a ton of stuff and then drop something off in Utah, pick up something and then drop it off in Ohio, pick up something, drop it off in New York, and then they just constantly travel across the United States, picking up these huge items for people, charging them $200 to ship it, and bringing it to the locations. And then you just mark on eBay that it has been delivered and you're good to go. That's how I found Kat the nurse flipper. She sold some huge, I can't remember if it was a grandfather clock or if it was a dresser, but I think it was a dresser. And she sold it on UShip. And then I got to meet Kat, so that was cool. What is the best time to go to a thrift store? Going at open is always a madhouse and seems like there is a lot more competition. There is not an answer for this for across the United States. It's 100% specific to your area. So there's some areas that they're only going to put good stuff out in the morning and they're done. They do not put items out throughout the day. So you have to be there at morning or else it's going to suck. There are other thrift stores where they slowly drip items throughout the whole day into the thrift store. And so those ones you can kind of go whenever. There are some that they have like a huge unloading phase. In the morning, they'll just put a ton of new product on the shelf. Then everyone will take a pretty sizable like lunch drought. And then after that lunch, they put another huge wave of items out. So you have to just keep going to your thrift stores in your local area and finding when they put items out. Versus when I go midday, there's less people there, and it seems like the thrift stores, such as Deseret, brings out stuff on carts throughout the day, not just at open. Yep, so you pretty much just said what I just answered. You just have to find out for your local area. Some thrift stores never put anything out. Yeah, and some thrift stores will allow you to pick from the back. So if there's like a small mom and pop shop in your area, and you see someone loading like donations, you can ask, "Hey, can I go through that?" And a lot of people will say, "Yeah, sure. We're just gonna sell it anyway, so go ahead." What has been your top stores to source in Northern Utah? Desert Industries, far and beyond anything else. Is there a way I could use calculated shipping, at least for international? eBay always tells me to use flat rate due to my location. I can't answer that question for you, unfortunately, because I know that you live in Mexico. So I believe that it is completely different from the United States, unfortunately. I don't think I can even do. I mean, I guess I think the programs are completely different because I have flat rate shipping or calculated shipping dependent on the size and weight of my items, and they go to Illinois, and then eBay takes care of it from there. It sounds like it's different for you, though. So, unfortunately, I can't answer that question. I'm sorry. Why does eBay force you to open policies for all three: returns, shipping, and payment? I really just want to make a return and payment policy, but if I try to enable just two, it messes up my shipping. I'm not sure what you're asking here. Sounds like just a technical issue, but you need a separate policy for all three of those things because they're all very different things. Sorry, I just don't understand your question. Do you ever do pawn shops? Sometimes. I usually just do pawn shops for CDs and pretty much nothing else. Every once in a while I'll find a decent golf club, but they just haven't been very fruitful for me, but I also haven't tried really hard in them. If you go to pawn shops, again, I was talking about this a little earlier. We're kind of spoiled as resellers. We demand a 4x opportunity on all of our items when most businesses are okay only making 20% or less margin. If you go to pawn shops and you just focus on really fast selling video games and calculators and cameras, you can buy tons of cameras for $60 that sell for $120 and make a 40% ROI instead of a 400% ROI. And you can probably even make more money doing that than these traditional thrift stores that don't put out as many fast sell-through items. So there's always opportunities everywhere. I haven't put a ton of time into pawn shops, but I'm sure that I could make a full-time living from pawn shops alone if I just sat down and figured it out. Broski living in Gadford back now. Lively in Gadford back now. Yeah, and Anthony Davis. So even I still think it was a dumb decision to trade Luka, but the construction of the Mavs, they've got a good team. They really do. But with Kyrie out, you just can't win a championship. Like Anthony Davis and Derek Lively as your Batman and Robin, I just don't think it's possible. Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis as your Batman and Robin with Gafford and Lively. And I'm high on Jaden Hardy, even though he's not a huge contributor. Anyway, people don't really want to listen to this, but Mavs are still in good shape, but not championship contending shape this season or I think in the future. Appreciate it, Hayden. When you clean sunglasses with oxidization, what is your white vinegar to water ratio? Eyeball?
Whatever his wife puts in it.
Yeah, no, we just dump some olive oil. We dump some white vinegar in there and then some hot water on top. I don't measure it out at all. Do you know if Goodwills are priced on manager by manager basis? Some Goodwills are just priced outrageously, it seems like. Yep, absolutely. Then that's the same for every business ever. Is this Jake from First Class? from State Farm from First Class. Is that the new thing? That's funny. Fire Nico. That's funny. Mavs fans. I feel for you guys. What is it like selling on Bonanza? Is it worth it? Yeah. Bonanza is super easy. We just shipped out 2 items today that sold this week because we forget to check it. But it's really easy. All it does is it takes all of your items from eBay and lists them on Bonanza. And then when they sell on eBay, they take them off Bonanza. And when they sell on Bonanza, they take them off eBay. You literally do nothing else. You just list all of your items onto eBay. And every day it checks your eBay store for new items and then uploads them to Bonanza. And when they sell, they just give you a notification. What are you looking at?
The comments.
Oh, nice.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it is. So yeah, Bonanza is pretty sweet. I have
Sucks to ship on.
I have over 3,000 items on eBay and Bonanza, and I sell about 1 to 3 items per week. So like it's nothing huge.
Can you come get the spider, please?
Oh, there's a spider. Husband duties. Where is it?
Oh, it's actually I think it's a fly. The way to get it?
Yeah, of course. It's a dead fly. Guys, it's a dead fly.
Oh my gosh! Don't throw it at me. Yeah.
Guys, we have stations on the desk here. We also have a table where Brinley could like clean all of the items, but she chooses to just clean them all on the floor and to just destroy her back.
It doesn't destroy my back because I go to the gym.
But she goes to the gym, so it's all fun.
Oh.
I'm a Suns fan. What do you think we should do with KD and Buck? Honestly, I hope you guys screw it up because as a Jazz fan, we now have your 2031 pick. So that's going to be awesome. But you guys are in a really, really tough situation. There's not a ton of stuff you guys can do, unfortunately. But I've never been a huge Booker fan. I just think he's overrated. Probably hate me for saying that because you're a Suns fan. And then KD, unfortunately, is just old, man. Like, not everyone can be LeBron and perform in their 40s. Let's get a little warm ski.
Just throw your stuff. That's good.
Lord Zed says hello. Appreciate it. It really depends what you are selling. Collectibles seem to work for me on Bonanza, but in general, for me, Bonanza is very, very slow in creating sales. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just it's something that I would definitely recommend, but have your expectations ultra low. So if you have 500 items cross-listed on Bonanza, I would expect less than a sale per week for sure. But it's nice to get extra sales here and there. And it's literally no extra effort. It does it automatically for you and you just ship when they sell.
Is it extra cost?
Do certain, no, the shipping is basically the same as well.
Have like a subscription maybe?
Nope, no subscription, and the fees are actually slightly less. They're like literally like a 1.5% less. So not a huge difference, but do certain desert industries only carry particular things? I notice some of mine won't have remotes, while some do in Arizona, by the way. Yeah, like I've said throughout the video, every single thrift store is different. So like I can't answer a question about all Goodwills or all desert industries or all thrift stores. Every single thrift store and every single manager and every single employee is completely different. Like there will be, you can tell that like in some of the back rooms, there's like some assembly lines of pricers. And sometimes I will find a camera that's worth $100 with a $3 sticker tag on it by one employee. And then another very similar camera worth $100 with a $40 sticker on it. So every single employee is different too. So it's all different. You've asked about like 4 or 5 different questions that have had the same answer. It's just like every single thrift store is different. Have you had to mess with your Rollo printer darkness and speed settings? Mine has been having some spots, so I had to turn darkness up and slow down the print speed. I've never had issues like that.
He also doesn't do shipping.
My wife does all the shipping, and before my wife did, my mom did. So I don't.
No, we haven't had a problem like that.
We haven't had a problem, and we now have the wireless one, and before the wireless one, we had the wired one for over a year as well.
The only thing we have to do sometimes is freaking reconnect it.
Yeah, but every once in a while, it won't communicate with the computer, which sucks. Like sometimes we'll print 30 labels, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I lost the computer. It's like,
and usually it's like the worst time possible to do.
So like we'll sell 35 items we'll have 35 items to ship out. We'll get through like 27 of them, and then it'll be like, oh, sorry, I'm not connecting.
It's like,
So then I have to like unplug it and reset it. It sucks. I'm filling up the question bank quite a bit. Appreciate it, man. That's what this whole thing is for. Any tips on planning thrift routes? How many times per week should you revisit the same thrift store, Phoenix area? So there's a ton. Again, it's completely dependent on your own area and thrift stores and the data you're receiving. So if a thrift store is putting out good items every single day, go every single day. If they're not putting out good items every day, don't go every day. If they are putting out good items all day, every day, then go to as many thrift stores as you possibly can. If they only put out good items in the morning, only go in the morning. It just like, I can't answer that question for all thrift stores, right? But it's all dependent on the data you're receiving. So I guess my answer is based on the data that you're receiving, go to those thrift stores in that route.
And don't go off field and track it.
Yeah, and track it.
Yeah, be like, oh, this day I got good items. This day I didn't. This time I got good items at this time.
Yeah, and then also don't be afraid. So like there's this thrift store in Deseret Industries in Riverton, Utah, which is just over an hour away from me. I haven't been there in months because I went twice in a row and their prices were significantly higher than other Deseret Industries twice in a row. But then I just went a couple days ago to pick up a dress for Brinley that she looked really good in. Got a lot of compliments. That's going to be first class treasures.
Same with this one?
No, that one's you guys.
Oh, this is the monkey from Wizard of Oz.
From Wicked.
Oh, sorry. It's the same freaking thing.
Yep. What do we use to clean the TV remotes? Just $1.25 right there.
It's great for the testosterone.
Great for all those xenoestrogens are nice. Andy Someta in the house. Didn't see you pop in. Have you ever tried contacting electronic recycling companies to ask if they would sell bulk remotes and cameras? I'm thinking about asking, but want to get an opinion first. Absolutely. I'm having a hard time finding them here in Utah. They're very hard to reach and contact.
They're snobby.
But if you can get in to one of those, I would do that absolutely. Also, you can just go to recycling plants. A lot of these recycling plants will just have remote controls and car stereos and things like that laying around, and you can just pick them and then buy them for like $2 a pound or things like that as well. But yeah, no, if you can set up, like that's how you become like a millionaire in this business. If you can find electronic recycling companies that get tens of thousands of cameras and remote controls, and they're willing to sell them to you for $500 for a pallet, and you can make $20,000 per pallet sometimes, then yeah, that's the dream. If you can pull that off, that's definitely what you want to do. So I definitely recommend you doing that if you have some leads already. House flipping sounds awesome, but pool flipping in Mexico is completely different dimension. LOL. Pool flipping.
What the fuss does that mean?
Yeah, I guess restoring pools, right? Thanks for always telling everything like it is. Appreciate it, man. You've had some great questions today. Hey, J-Red, love your content. It's been a huge help. My question is, do you think I would see slower sales if I post 1 time a day as opposed to 3 times a day? I'm only picking up 80% above sell-through. No, it has nothing to do with when or you're posting your items. If you just post them all at the same time, you'll have the same results as posting them split up 3 times throughout the day. That might be eBay. So yeah, like especially it sounds so you said you're only picking up 80% plus sell-through rate items. Yeah, just get those listed as soon as possible. You don't have to have a draft bank. That's not for the algorithm. It's just for a like business balance. But if you are only sourcing 80% sell-through rate items, the first chance you have to list them, get them up on eBay. So don't like list 5 at 6 a.m. and then 5 at noon and 5 at 6 p.m. Just list 15 at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. whenever you list. Do you have services of helping others on their eBay to guide and stuff? I would like to pay for something like that if you do. I don't, but I have a lot of free content. Definitely watch my most viewed video, how to resell on eBay. It's like the ultimate guide for beginners to resell on eBay. That I could honestly wrap that up into a course and sell it but I won't. It's all free. And then I will be making a part 2 for 2025 here soon. So that'll be a great resource as well. But yeah, no, all the information is free here on YouTube, and that's kind of what these Q&As are for. So you guys can ask me these specific questions and I can help you guys out. Would you ever consider doing lives with other resellers so we can talk reselling live? Or even would you be interested in meeting in Utah to do a day in the life and talk business? Yeah, so with my new podcast, The Reseller Island, that's kind of like the premise of that podcast is so you guys can listen to it and kind of have like a network that you guys are kind of on the island with us as we're all reselling, because it can be lonely, right? We are also planning on having live hangouts, maybe twice a month on just like random Thursdays where me, Keith, and Shane hop on and just hang out and talk about reselling and let you guys come on stage and hang out with us and stuff too. So that's in the works as well. Even though Keith and Shane aren't in this chat right now, losers.
Meet up at some point.
And then we're me and Mike Metco are talking about possibly doing a meetup here in Salt Lake City someday. But that's 6 months to 3 years in the future.
Unless somebody pays us $1 million up front.
What is the base? Yeah, that'd be sick. What is your base profit you take on an item? Do you try to double? I don't have a minimum profit. I have a minimum sell through rate. So if something sells and it makes me $3, I'll buy it if it's cheap enough, So when you focus on sell through rate, well, there must be something going on. Maybe someone else went live or something. Because I think Kevin is live on Dipped It right now, because we just went from like 105 people to 68 in like 3 minutes.
Sure.
So yeah, like I don't chase the profit. I chase the sell-through rate, and when you focus on sell-through rate, your profit margin increases, because if items are in demand, they're going for more money. So I'm okay buying something that only makes me like a 30% ROI. You're talking about making a 100% ROI. It's perfectly fine making less money if it sells quick enough. You can always negotiate with pawn shops. That's a good way to source for higher end inventory. Exactly. Yeah, no, pawn shops can be really good. Do you or would you ever do eBay store reviews? This is one of my most asked questions, and the answer is no, because it's not truly helpful. If you teach a man to fish, he will eat for a lifetime. If you just give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day.
I'll take good analogy.
If I like review your store, I can tell you, hey, like this item is priced too high, and that'll fix your item. But then it's hard to apply that information in the future. If you don't go out and actively seek that knowledge, all of the answers that you would be looking for in a store review is on my YouTube channel for free, but you have to go find it. And if you extract that knowledge, then you will have a much better eBay store than if I just simply reviewed it one time. For sure. Like it would be 5,000% better if you go through the pain of finding and applying the information. And it's not hard to find. Like it's all free on my YouTube channel, especially my beginner's guides and stuff. But it's all about pricing and your shipping policies and your return policies and your item specifics, all of that.
Okay, so that phrase, that analogy is now copyrighted. Just nobody can steal it.
Yeah, that's one of the most used phrases in the world. If you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. I hear that almost every day in my life. You've never heard that?
No.
That's wild. What's your opinion on vendor malls, indoor flea markets as a source for selling stuff or storage? Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, it just depends on your business model again. So like live selling is actually similar to flea markets and a garage sale, and you can get a little bit more money typically. So if you want to get rid of inventory fast, you can definitely just go to a flea market. And if you want to buy inventory, you can go to a flea market. Again, it's kind of like a pawn shop, but even less expensive. So if you go to a thrift store, you can find a lot of really good items that sell for $25 for just $3 or $4. At the flea market, you're probably going to have to pay $8, and then at a pawn shop, you're going to have to pay $15. So I'm not sure if that answered your question or not. If you have real estate, do you have any tips on how to look for a good property or any tips on where to learn? Yeah, all of these guys like on TikTok and Facebook saying that you can get into real estate for $5,000 are
Liars.
lying to you.
Their mommy and daddy bought them a house.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need to have a lot of capital to be successful in real estate. Yes, you can like do wholesaling and find good deals and stuff like that, but you need to have capital to be successful in real estate, in my opinion. And but yeah, you can totally do it. But I would recommend putting down 20 to 25% upfront for all of your properties and paying them off as soon as you can.
That's stupid.
So yeah.
Yes.
Spiders are good to keep other bugs away.
No.
But they're still a bug. Like I know they're not technically a bug, but it's like it's still something that can still something that's gross and can spread disease.
No thanks.
I sold pest control for a living. I would hear people say that, and I'm not picking on you, but it's like
it doesn't matter.
It's like, wait, so you don't want to sign up for pest control to get rid of your bugs. You just want other bugs that are more dangerous to take care of your bugs. Okay. Nope. Makes sense. Are you putting your COG and shipping and notes on the phone or doing QuickBooks? I have no, I don't do that. I just cost average everything. And I keep receipts. How do you handle moving to a different state? I guess I didn't move to a different state, but I did move 370 miles. So yeah, that's technically moving to another state. We just got a big old U-Haul, moved everything in one day, and it was good to go.
Okay, let's clarify there. We spent weeks packing, mostly me.
What the?
Bruh, don't even.
Yeah, no, you pack everything up. You how do you fit a elephant into the fridge? You open the fridge, put the elephant in, and then you close the fridge. Right? Super simple, but obviously there's a lot of steps involved of getting that elephant into the fridge, right? So yeah, you just pack everything up, you move it here, and you unload it. But we put the store on vacation mode for just like a day. Well, we actually did it for like 3 days, just because like we value work-life balance, not just making money every single second of the day. So we took a few days off to really just get settled into our house and things like that.
Helps having people around you that'll help you.
Yeah, and then we had support from our family members and ward members. In our religious community, wards are awesome. So when we lived in St. George, we were part of this ward that we all have the same common beliefs and morals, and there's about 500 of us. And then when you move, you go to another ward, and your records are transferred to that new ward. So before we even moved here, there were 500 people with our same morals and beliefs that knew we were coming, and they all started reaching out to us saying, hey, the Riders, we know you guys are moving into our area. When are you doing that so we can come help you guys move in? And it's awesome. It's a really awesome community here in Utah. Like a lot of people like
trash on us. Yeah,
like the media will trash on Utah. Dude, Utah's the greatest place in the world, man.
Don't even try.
It's so sweet. Do you think AI will change reselling? New to this. I think that it will tweak it for sure. I think AI will tweak a lot of major industries. But I compare AI to the internet. Like the internet really enhanced a lot of businesses and took away a few of them. But same thing with AI. I don't think it's going to take anything over, but I think it will definitely increase productivity within reselling and things like that. I am in talks with one company right now who gets around 100,000 cameras each year. Each year, they sell them for so cheap too. Yeah. No, it's an awesome opportunity for sure. Yeah, no, yeah. Well, you'll, Sid, I can't remember if you said I can't remember if you're one of the people that live in Colorado. Could be wrong, but. Also, Sid, I haven't seen you on First Class Treasures. I'm not trying to like pitch this hard to anyone, but my favorite thing about First Class Treasures is putting names and faces to people. Like I have really strong connections with WSC and Random Relics and CW Collectibles and Jose and a lot of these people that I did not know existed before First Class Treasures. All of these guys that I just mentioned have been following me on YouTube, but I didn't know who they were until First Class Treasures. Like it's really cool to actually be able to hang out with you guys and to know your guys' first names. Like I'm genuinely shocked by the community aspect of First Class Treasures. It's been awesome. So Sid, get your butt over to First Class Treasures. Do you ever source on Whatnot? Any tips for that? I do. I also do it on First Class Treasures and Whatnot and Dibdit.
I feel like you haven't as much recently.
I haven't as much recently, but the majority of sales on District and Whatnot are two other resellers. Every once in a while, you'll get someone who actually wants to collect an item or have it for their own personal use. But the majority of sales are going to other resellers. And so I find... So I just bought a ton of stuff from Vintage Sport Flips. Keith, my co-host on the Reseller Island podcast, he sells a ton of stuff on First Class Treasures that I'm able to get for $2 to $6 that sell for 20 to even hundreds. I bought a really nice ceramic piece from him for $9 that I have listed for $2.50. It's awesome. So I used Whatnot. I haven't used Whatnot in a long time, but I followed this guy who would get Amazon electronic return packages, and I would buy electronics from him all the time because I would get like Canon cameras for $1 from him all the time, and he'd like complain. He'd be like, "Oh, Jay Ryan, you got it again. How am I can't make any money off this." But he would still just run items every single night. Yeah, he was dope. But he eventually got a huge following, and now he sells all of his cameras that are worth $80. He sells them for like $45 now, which is still a decent profit margin. But
I know we have these.
But yeah, you can definitely, like, especially in District right now, like, go to First Class Treasures, go to Dib Day, go to these live shows, and you can get some really good items for really good prices. And I wouldn't be afraid to, like, I know a lot of you guys are really stuck in this mindset of like you have to quintuple or quadruple your money every time. But if you buy things for $12 that sell for $30, you can become a millionaire pretty quick if you get enough items. You really can. Like, everyone thinks you have to buy items for under $2 and sell them for over 20. But yeah, you can make incredible margins buying things for $7 and selling them for 24, buying them for 12 and selling them for 30. It's great stuff. Do you know what the number means on Deseret tags? I always see 1, 12, 13. I don't. Is it worth buying from Facebook Marketplace and asking the seller to ship it to me to resell it? Yeah, again, if the profit margin's there. It doesn't matter where or how you acquire your items. Again, I'm a weird person, so I don't see a $40 camera. I see a $40 investment. Like, I don't care if it's a remote or a t-shirt or a camera. It's just a $40 item. So if I can get it for $6, I'm going to buy it. Doesn't matter if it's from a thrift store or a yard sale or an online site. It doesn't matter how I'm getting it. It's just if I can make money, buy it. If it's not a good profit margin for your business, then don't buy it. So it doesn't matter if it's Facebook. It's just, will it make you money? If it makes you money, buy it. Sounds like Miss Flips did all the work.
For what?
Pretty much.
For what?
Shipping and stuff, I think.
Or when we moved?
He said this at 12:12, 6 minutes ago. So yeah, when we moved.
No, Jacob helped a lot, but I was off of soccer because I wasn't playing, so he kind of worked throughout the day. I would work at Beehive and then come home and finish packing and stuff.
Yep.
Made more sense.
Yeah, guys, we have 87 of you in here, and we only have like 3 more questions. So I'd love to hang out with you guys for, another 30 minutes or so. But once we run out of questions, we'll hop off. So if any of you guys have questions about reselling,
do you have a meeting?
About anything, go ahead and put them in the comments and we will get to them. But right now, it looks like we're going to be ending in 2 minutes.
So ask questions.
Thoughts on AI listing generators from just photos? So I was working with one called Sellraise. It's pretty decent. That technology is coming soon. It's already here. It's doing well. So does that mean I can post one item in a week and still have the same results? Thank you for answering my question. I really appreciate it. I'm not I'm not sure what you're asking.
No, you can't. If you're only posting one item a week, I mean, even if it's a good sell-through item, you're still not making a lot of money because you're only posting one item.
Yeah.
So quantity does matter, but quality also matters.
Nathan, it's literally just math. If you have an 80% sell-through rate store and you have 10 items, you will sell 8 items every 90 days. If you can have 1,000 items, then you will sell 800 items every 90 days.
You have to reverse engineer. How much do I want to make? How many items do I need in my store? How many sales a week do I have to get?
Yeah, so like the question is like list as many great items as you can. Don't list as many items as you can because it's just math. If you list 1,020% sell-through rate items, you will sell on average 200 items every 90 days if you have a 1,000 item store. If you list 1,080% sell-through rate items, you will have 800 sales every 90 days. So it doesn't matter how many items you have in your store. It only matters what the sell-through rate of your store is, what the sell-through rate of each individual item is. So list as many good items as you can, and you will make really good money. Do you have to pay to join First Class Treasures? That's the way it looks. Nope. No, you just go to firstclasstreasures.com and you click join, and then you can see all the items we have for sale. You can come hang out as at live shows, and you can also sell for free. There's no like you can sign up for a subscription to get discounted fees and stuff, but it's just like eBay. You just list your items for free, and if it sells, you pay 10% in fees. That's it. But yeah, if you just want to come hang out and just watch live shows, it's completely free to join. Near Denver in Colorado, my fear for First Class Treasures is getting lowballed by resellers. LOL. No, yeah, it's just like Bonanza. If you just list all of your items over to eBay, you will get. So we get a lot of sales each day through like Google and stuff. So yeah, it's just another platform to sell on, and you can sell as much or as little as you'd like to. Would you say that an average seller makes Poshmark profits, or would you say that an average seller makes Poshmark profits or closer to eBay? I don't understand your question. The average reseller can make a ton of profit on Poshmark, if that's what you're asking.
Especially right now.
Yeah, Poshmark has been awesome. Poshmark has been really good this week.
Popping off.
3 tickets to buy, 3 tickers to sell in 2025. What? Sir, so I don't understand what you're asking. 3 tickers to buy, 3 tickers to sell in 2025.
I'm lost.
Is tickers? Are you saying like widgets? Like which items? Dude, remote controls, sunglasses, and cameras. If that's your question, buy those 3 things and sell them. I mean, one time a day. Sorry. Yeah. You could list 40 items on Monday, and then 0 for the rest of the week, and you're fine. Like the algorithm, everyone think, oh, stock tickers. Okay, now I get what you're saying.
Still lost.
Just all companies on the stock market, they have an abbreviation, and the abbreviation is their ticker name. But I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, if you list all of your items on Monday, you don't have to list like every single day. Like the Tech and Sports and Daily Refinement, they really focused on the algorithm for sellers, and I just don't believe that the algorithm is as concerned about sellers as much as it is concerned about buyers. The algorithm on eBay is to serve the buyer, is to get the buyer the item that they're looking for through best match. And yes, you need to have good seller metrics to be recommended to those buyers, because that is what creates a good buyer experience. But if you are a good seller and you list good items, you will sell them. You don't have to list 15 a day every single day. You don't have to make sure that you are listing every single day to please the algorithm. All you have to do is list good items. If you list good items, you will sell them according to the sell-through rate on average. So if you list 1,080% sell-through rate items today, you will sell 800 of them in 90 days. And if you list them 11 per day every day, you will eventually sell all of those items that you list in 90 days. It'll just take longer because you haven't listed them yet.
Also, make sure your listings are good.
And make sure your listings are good. Do you have a BID FTA in your area?
What the freak is that?
Not sure if you spelled that incorrectly or not, but if that's correct, then no, I definitely don't have a BIDFTA. I don't have a BIDFTA in my area. Gotta go. Love you, broski. Everyone go sub to my channel. Good stuff. Dragon Master Finds. Check him out. Have you seen any of the live selling on District succeed when they're more of a show and bundle kind of stream at a little higher price? Seen it on Whatnot before, just not sure how successful it is. Yeah, so WSC was selling some items last night, and he was selling them for $1, and then he sold it again. It's a very similar item for $1, and then again for $1, and then he ran 4, and he sold them for $6. So, it's like bundling just has this psychological effect that people just bid more because they think they're getting more value. So if I sell a watch live that's worth like $40 and I sell one of them, then I'll probably get like $9 for it on live. But if you put 5 of them together, a lot of times you will get $15 per watch, you know? So it's just psychological tips.
Harry Potter or the Office Funko Pops.
Oh yeah, so I sold little Funko Pop keychains for The Office, and I was running them, and they kept selling for $2 each. But then I ran 4 of them, and so I should have sold them for just $8, right? But they ended up selling for $23 for 4 of them, because when they're all bundled together, it's just more exciting, especially on a live show. Bundle and lose money. Just kidding.
Okay.
When you moved and changed address in eBay, did it automatically change shipping costs on your items already posted? Yeah, if it's calculated. If it's flat rate shipping, it just stays the same because it's just flat rate. But yeah, it changed automatically. Tomorrow I am having my new going around savers with a live camera for me for the first time. I am hoping he can become a sourcer for me. I am so excited to see how it goes, Ella. That's awesome. You're having, it sounded like you said maybe your nephew, my new, going around savers with a live camera for me for the first time. That's awesome. Yeah, let us know how that goes. So it sounds like you're having someone go with a GoPro and look at these items, and then you're telling them, oh, buy that, don't buy that. Kind of things like that. Is that what you're saying? That sounds really interesting.
If this worth $50.
Yeah.
But it would have been even more if you could have found the
other unit. Yeah, I guys got this at a thrift store for $2, and it sells for like 50 to 60. I think there are 0 listed right now, and like 6 sold. So yeah.
What's sold?
Does the length of your show make any difference? It's all just about timing and competition and items. So if you have a really long show of stuff people don't want, it's going to be worse for you. But if you have a really long show of stuff that people really want, then it's going to be better for you. Generally, especially when you're live selling and you're selling to other resellers, the longer you go, the better, because you're going to get 4 people that unlock cheaper shipping, and now they're going to buy more items to take advantage of that cheaper shipping. So if you have good stuff and you go longer, generally you make a little bit more money because people are trying to take advantage of that shipping.
Listen, people.
Same with bundling.
Length always matters.
What? Length always matters. That's funny. What do you notice sells good on live selling? Things that are like very collectible and treasury. So coins are doing really well.
Anything your grandma collects.
Pocket knives are doing super well. Vintage and modern toys are doing very well. So WSNC, for example, he has a deal with Mattel and Hasbro. He's kind of like Walmart. Like he gets all of the new toys shipped to him at wholesale, at retail price, and then he's able to just, sell them. And so he'll get a lot of modern toys that sell for like, 18, 20 bucks at Walmart. I'm not sure what his pricing is, but I'm sure it's pennies on the dollar. And he's able to sell them on Did and First Class Treasures for $6, $7, $8 and still make a really great profit. So, and he gets his money the same day. What is the best way to train someone to source for an everything seller? Have them list first. So Brindley has never sourced for us. I mean, she'll go to yard sales with me every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm good at it.
But you've never just like gone by yourself to source. But because you are listing and shipping these items, you are seeing everything that sells well.
I could go and do like when I go with you to the DI's open.
Yeah,
I always do good.
Yeah, and so Brindley will come to me with at a yard sale or a thrift store, and I'll go one way, she'll go another, and she'll find a few things because she's sitting here. She never watches reselling content on YouTube, so she's not learning from me or Kevin or people who do what sold videos.
I listen to it at night when I fall asleep because you turn it on.
She listens to it at night because I usually fall asleep to reselling content. But yeah, just from listing all of the items, they learn what to look for. So honestly, I would do that if possible. All right, 3 tickers on stocks to buy in 2025 and 3 to sell. I am bullish on Airbnb. Brandley and I are buying a lot of Airbnb.
Mostly because we use Airbnb a lot.
Because we use Airbnb a lot. I'm also buying a lot of Tesla. This is not financial advice.
So if we screw you over,
this is all for,
you can't sue us.
This is all for entertainment purposes. Like, don't listen to just a guy on the internet, but like make your own financial decisions for sure. But I mostly do ETFs. I really like SCHD. SCHD is by far my favorite ETF. It's really just a slow burn, really good stock to have that hedges against recessions and downturns. It's still affected by recessions and downturns for sure. But right now, I just bought $500 of SCHD, $500 of QQQ, $500 of VOO. VOO and QQQ are both down 12% over the last like 3 weeks, but SCHD is up 7%. But if the market starts to rip again, SCHD is probably going to go up like 9%, while QQQ goes up 40%. So it's just different, right? So those are my 3 ETFs. I like that's what we have in our Roth IRAs and our traditional IRAs and our 401ks. Yes, as a reselling business owner, I have a 401k, as does my wife, and I, the corporation that employs myself, I match my own contributions. It's really cool. It honestly is. I love to nerd out about that stuff. Anyway,
don't get them.
Those are the 3 that we buy for ETFs. And then single stocks. I like single stocks. Don't follow me into this. This is not financial advice. I'm buying a lot of Amazon. I mean, Airbnb, Tesla, and Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder right now is in the dumps. It was like $180 per share. It's down to like $65. So I've been buying a decent amount of Estee Lauder because I think they will rebound and probably double in the next couple years.
We're hoping.
In the stock market, you're looking to double your income every 7 years, and then that's like kind of average. And your goal in the stock market is to beat that by the stocks and ETFs you pick. So you want to double your money in 6 years or less. And if you can double it in 2 or 3 years, then you'll be a millionaire pretty quick. So that's what Warren Buffett has been doing. Warren Buffett the stock market usually goes up about 10% a year, but Warren Buffett's portfolio goes up like 21% per year on average.
This is pretty bad advice, but I've heard, don't.
Bad advice. Come on.
I've heard that if you just follow what the porn industry is investing in,
yeah,
then you'll probably be pretty good because they do a lot of freaking research into stocks and what to invest in and who to target and who to market to. So
yep. It's true. So there's a couple of things outside of the stock market that I look to as indicators. So I like to follow the resale market of Rolexes. I've noticed that every time Rolexes take off in value, the economy does really well. And every time that Rolexes dump by 20 to 40%, houses typically follow, and the economy follows as well. Another thing, like my wife just said, is if the porn industry is investing in something, it's probably a good idea to invest in that, unfortunately.
It's really, like I said, we are religious, promise.
But yeah, we don't really look into that stuff.
No,
but
just heard on.
But we listen to podcasts that they're like, yeah, no, it's more profitable to follow what they're investing in than it is to follow what Nancy Pelosi is investing in. And her husband are one of the greatest investors in all of history. I wonder why. I wonder if politicians are able to influence particular companies.
I wonder if politicians should be allowed to.
It's almost like my name is LeBron James, and I can bet $100,000 that I will not score 20 points tonight, and then I'll get to 19 points
and I'll stop
and miss every shot, so that way I can get a huge return on my $100,000.
We're not conspiracy theorists.
It's almost like politicians can say, "Hey, I can greatly affect the tobacco sales by this legislation, so I'm going to go invest in MO so I can quadruple my money tonight." Because this news is going to release that tobacco sales are going to skyrocket.
Hey, I know that this bill is in the works and going down the pipeline. Maybe I should invest in this because it's going to affect that.
Guys, I love talking about this stuff. So, plus, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. The more we talk about real estate, and the more we talk about taxes, and the more we talk about investing and money, the more we make per video. So if I just strictly talked about reselling with you guys here, I would probably make about, I don't know, $9 every 1,000 views. But the more I talk about taxes and the stock market and ETFs and cryptocurrency especially, advertisers can pay up to $50 every 1,000 views. So I'll have some videos where we will only talk reselling and it gets like $11 every 1,000 views. And then there will be another live Q&A where you guys ask more questions about real estate and investments, and I'll make like $46 every 1,000 views. So you guys can talk about these whenever you want. I think we already have one of those listed. What are your thoughts on eBay listings now appearing on Facebook Marketplace? Do you think this integration will be helpful for sellers and buyers, or could it create more issues? I think it'll be helpful. I think it's just another place for your items to be seen. And if people see, like, if you have good items and more people see them, you will have more sales. And so I think it's only going to increase eyeballs on our sales, on our items. Thank you for answering all my dumb questions, LOL. You really are helping out a lot. No, there's no such thing as a dumb question. And I hope I never, like, I know I have a distinct personality and things like that. But
that's what you're saying. Sometimes you can be an a-hole.
I hope like sometimes my answers don't come across as like you're an idiot, because you definitely aren't. Like I love these live Q&As. I love answering the same question over and over again.
You're brash sometimes.
Sometimes I'm brash, but I know that people are asking questions because they want to further their financial future, and I love that I can play a small part in that. And so yeah, no questions are dumb. There's some dumb comments though. Sometimes we have to ban people for dumb comments. But yeah, no dumb questions. I guess there can be dumb questions too though if you go down that line. But bundling works because of shipping is less per item as well. Yep. Yeah, no, there's a ton of benefits to bundling items together psychologically. Do you have to change your address in about 3 different spots on eBay, like return address, shipping address, and out for delivery address? I think you do. So we actually, that happened this morning. Someone said, "Hey, I'm gonna pick this up for 100. I'll pick this up for 100 locally." I was selling a CD player for $150, and I'm like, "Sweet, where do you live?" And they're like, "Oh, by the temple in Washington." And I'm like, "Oh,
nope."
It's still showing our.
But they could have.
It's still showing our St. George address. We live in northern Utah, 300 miles away now. They're like, "Oh, darn."
Not good.
So gotta change that. Do you recommend getting a PO box? Nah. If you're like a YouTuber, I would. But if you're just an eBay seller, you can. Like, it's always good to get an LLC for protection and a PO box for protection. There's always crazy people everywhere, but it's like I have had like legitimate death threats on TikTok, and no one ever does anything. I have people saying they're going to report me to the IRS, And I have,
if somebody does show up to the house, his wife is strong.
I have my accountant check on that. I have been reported to the IRS like 4,300 times.
Those are things we don't need to tell our wife.
And they just know because I create content. There's always like haters and stuff. So, but yeah, if you make content, I get a PO box. There's a chance that if you sell something to an absolute crazy person, $700.
Like the vacuum lady.
Yeah, we sold a vacuum on Facebook Marketplace, and that lady was crazy.
She actually came to the house. That was terrifying.
Anonymous says, "LOL, wifey with the protection." Yeah, you said if anyone ever comes to our doorstep, you'll kill them.
Yeah.
I only want them to source because I have a hard time getting myself out the door. I am a homebody and rather stay home and list. So you're like the opposite of everyone. That's funny. What I would recommend for you, yeah, so get some people trained up on sourcing, but also, like I said, there's a lot of really good sourcing opportunities on First Class Treasures and Dibdit and whatnot. Yeah, if you just want to stay home all day, you can source all day long on the computer or your phone for sure. Eastman Kodak stock, huh? They could crash 9/11 and make war for more money. Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of money to be made in war. Greetings. Hope you are doing well. We're doing great, Donovan. Thanks for asking.
Snowing, so actually we're kind of not doing that good.
It snowed this morning, so we're depressed, but it's all good. Skipped your question. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. On Posh, you make 20% less than if you sell on eBay. On First Class, how are the margins comparable? I don't think you make 20% less on Posh. Because on Poshmark, it's 20% of the sales price. They take care of shipping. On eBay, it's 13% on the sales price and the shipping and the taxes. So you're actually paying about an 18%. Plus, most people promote on eBay. So I actually think it's exactly the same. And then on District, you're only charged 10% on the sales price, plus a 30% transaction fee. And eBay, it's a 40% transaction fee. Poshmark, it's a 30% transaction fee as well. So if you sell something for $10 on District, you're going to, on First Class Treasures, you're going to pay $1.30 in fees. If you sell something for $10 on eBay, then you're going to pay probably like $1.75 with fees on the shipping and taxes. And on Poshmark, you're going to pay 20% on $10. So you pay $2 in fees. So you're really only paying like an extra 26 cents on Poshmark, if that calculation is correct. What's up?
There's two different prices that are very big in discrepancy, 130 or 70.
Mm-hmm.
They're both the same size. So what do you want me to do this for?
Put them for 85. So gold is interesting because Donald Trump mentioned that they may be repricing gold. So to pay off some of the national debt. Okay. Wait. So this is pretty crazy, guys. Let's talk about this because it'll make us more money in the revenue, right? Right now, all of the gold in Fort Knox is valued at like, I think $780.
Is Fort Knox a real place?
Yeah.
Bro, I thought that was just a saying.
Nope, it's Fort Knox and it's filled with gold bars.
That's crazy.
The US dollar used to be tied to those gold bars, and inflation wasn't as big of an issue. But then in 1971, they decided to just have the dollar not tied to anything. It's all just whatever we value the dollar at, right? So inflation started going wild. Anyway, I think it was 1971, they valued gold at $42 per ounce. And if you take that calculation, $42 times the amount of ounces of gold that we have in Fort Knox, it ends up being $780 billion. About every 2 decades, they reprice gold. So back in the 50s and the 40s, it was only valued at like $24 per ounce. Then in the 1940s, then 1970s, it went up to $42 per ounce. Now it's worth like $3,000. So what the Trump administration may be doing, they haven't confirmed if they're going to do this or not, but they may revalue the price of gold to $4,000. instead of $42. So then they just created money out of nothing, and they can use that new money that they created out of thin air to go pay off the national debt. So now instead of having $780 billion in gold assets, now they could possibly reprice it at $4,000. And now they have $8 trillion worth of gold. And I'm not sure about the legalities behind this, but they could even reprice the gold to $15,000 per ounce or $30,000 per ounce. And then you could just wipe out the whole deficit. So, but yeah.
And screw up the economy in the process.
All of this to say, I'm bullish on gold because I think that the Trump administration is going to reprice it. So I'm bullish on gold for sure. What are your thoughts on eBay listings now appearing? Oh, I already answered that. Oh, I scrolled up a little bit. You're brash. I follow Mr. H reviews, my friend. You're a kitty cat compared to him. Oh yeah, I know. I'm not like I'm not just like.
He's not an a-hole.
I'm not a douchebag up here, but sometimes I answer questions in the way that people don't want them answered. But insider trading, man. So one of my investing strategies is I just follow Nancy Pelosi's husband. He's the greatest investor of our generation, and so every time he makes, and if you have over $10 million invested in the U.S. stock market, every 3 months you have to report what you have bought and sold. And so every 3 months, I just check what he's buying, and I follow his trends, and it's been working out really well. Who's paying shipping on Whatnot? The buyer is paying, and Whatnot calculates it for you. So that's one of the biggest advantages of first-class treasures, is you can price your items how you would like to, and you can combine shipping across multiple shows. So I used to sell on Whatnot, and I would sell clothing, and so they would just charge $8 for the first item, and then like $3.50 for the next item, and then like 42 cents every item after that. And then if I ended the show and then started another one the next day, even if I hadn't shipped out the items yet, they would start charging $8 for the first item and then go down a little bit, right? What we do on First Class Treasures is I just charge $6 shipping on my first item, and then $1 shipping on each individual item after that. And if I sell on Monday and I don't ship, and then I have a show on Wednesday, everyone that has bought from me already has $1 progressive shipping on all of the future items of that show as well. So
bundle and save.
Bundle and save. That's where you bundle and save. Fort Knox is in Kentucky. It's true.
Oh, can you go there?
Yeah. I mean, you can't go into the vault, but
no.
Oh yeah, you can go just like you can go to the New York Stock Exchange. You can go check it out. Have the wife watch James Bond, Goldfinger, and Die Hard with a Vengeance. You get a great look at Fort Knox and the Wall Street Bank.
My parents love
007?
Yes.
My in-laws love 007. I just learned that.
Oh, love it. Ask my dad about it. He'll freaking.
Jeff says that Trump is full of S***T.
Oh, darn. Seems like he's followed through on a lot of what he said he would do in the campaign, but.
Fort Knox is being refilled as we speak. Lots of gold incoming to the U.S. since December 24th. Yeah, and if we revalue it, who knows? I'm more bullish on silver and copper. Yeah, precious metals in general, I view as like a hedge. So I definitely diversify my portfolio and make sure that I'm pretty heavy into a lot of different things, not just super heavy into one. And so we got some precious metals, we got some stocks.
We got coins from my grandma.
We get coins. Every time we have a birthday, her grandma gives us a silver dollar. So that's awesome. What's your crypto portfolio look like? I feel like bottom is in. Christmas will be good time to be alive. I do not make any predictions on crypto because it's the most volatile investment out there. But 10% of my portfolio is in cryptocurrency. So for every $1,000 we invest, we put $100 into cryptocurrency.
This is all news to me.
Silver at 90 to 1 gold is screaming buy. Yeah, so again, you guys got to make your own financial decisions and never listen to random people in comments or young 29-year-old kids talking to you on YouTube. You definitely got to do your own research and make your own financial decisions. But money makes money. I think that's one of the biggest things that you guys should all focus on. If you want to level up your reselling and your life in general, is make money on eBay and then take that money that you just made and go park it somewhere where it makes its own money by itself.
Also, just think about things that people have to have. You
Yeah.
have to have tires for your car. You like oil. We have to have oil. We have to have gas. Like,
yeah, one of the best tips that I've heard for investing is if you use a company every day or extremely often, you can invest in that company because at least you are going to.
So we're investing in Target.
So yeah, we've got a little bit of money in Target right now. Target is doing really bad right now, so we're probably going to increase our stake in Target as that continues to fall. But
I keep doing business.
Yeah, no. When we last invested in Target, it was at $160 per share, and now it's at $107 last time I checked. Let's see what it's at right now.
Well, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll go to the account on here. Log in. Let's see if it has my updated password. Darn. Let me just check it real quick. So we haven't been invested in Target for super long, but right now Target is at $103 and our average buy cost is $112. And at one point it was at what? At one point it was at $260. But more recently its high was like 170, 175. So yeah, we're eyeballing Target. There's an app that follows Congress and senators. There's AI programs for it as well. Algorand is my #1 crypto pick. Algorand, haven't heard of that one. Knowledge is power, very true. Always do the research before you make a decision. Oh yeah, for sure. In reselling, in finance, and everything. The Persian Prince says to buy Safe Moon. Is that legit? JK. Again, like, I have to say this to like protect myself and my company and my family, but also I truly mean this. Never buy any stock because you saw it trending on Twitter or because you heard someone talking about it on the internet or you heard it's going to the moon or someone's pumping it. Never do that. But if you look at the company and you understand its basics and you can see a path of progression and people wanting to be a part of that company in the future, then you should buy it. But you should never base any financial decisions off of the internet, for sure. Off people's opinion. But yeah, we've been going for 1 hour and 48 minutes. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I really appreciate all the questions. I'm gonna go live on First Class Treasures for about an hour, and then I'm going to the dentist. So we'll see you guys later. Appreciate it. Bye.